Good afternoon, New Heart family and friends. This is Elder Solomon coming to you with our Author's Corner. And the idea behind this Author's Corner is to introduce some local authors, especially African American authors, to our youth because we need for them to know and understand that there are people that looks just like them that have books out and are making movies and doing things. It is perfectly fine, I believe, to have them to have heroes or people that they look up to, but we think that it is that much better when they have someone from their neighborhood, from their community, somebody that they can see that presents something such as what we're doing in Author's Corner. And today we have with us a local author, Pastor Jarvis Wright, and we're going to allow him to introduce himself and to let you know a little bit about him so that you'll feel comfortable. And we're going to turn it over to him right now and allow him to be able to uh, say a little bit about himself.
Amen. Well, grace and peace, family. I am absolutely excited and grateful to be with you all. And I think that this is a wonderful initiative and a wonderful idea to showcase local authors, not for the purpose of just getting the books out there, but also inspiring other writers. So I think this is wonderful, and I thank you for the opportunity. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Jarvis F. Wright Sr. I am the senior pastor of New St. Paul Church in Seville, Florida. And I'm also the associate pastor of Mount Tabor First Baptist Church in Palaca, Florida. So I'm kind of dual enrolled. I've been in ministry for about 20 years now, and just thank God for the opportunity to serve God's people. As far as my secular or my career is concerned, I currently am a GED teacher for St. John's River State College, and I'm also a mental health counselor for Sunrise Living Behavior in Palm Coast. I recently graduated with my master's degree in marriage and family therapy. So that's kind of a new journey that I'm on. My bachelor's degree is in education, middle grade education. And so I kind of bridged two gaps, bridged two careers together with mental health and education, and just kind of better serve our community. I'm married, been married for 9 years, 8 years, one of them. Don't tell her that I didn't know.
Yes, sir.
And I have two beautiful children. Which we'll talk about later on, is the inspiration of the books that we'll be talking about. Two beautiful children. One, my daughter is 6 and my son is 3. Pray for us.
Yes, sir.
So that's
Most
just a little bit
definitely.
about myself. Yes, that's a little bit about myself.
Okay, well, we thank you for being willing to share your books with us on today. And as you get ready to share them, uh, please let us know in more detail what inspired you to write the books and how you came about it.
Yes. So we're going to be showcasing, of course, our children's books, but my journey actually began with my first book, which is Spiritual Healing and Spiritual Health. So I have 3 books that I've written, and this is what you can say the adult book. I wrote this book about 5 years ago. And the reason why I wrote the book is really the book is a culmination of a series of messages that I preached. And I noticed that there was a pattern there. And as I have said before, kind of my background is in counseling. You know, I've always had a passion for counseling and mental health. And one of my objectives is to bridge the gap between spirituality and mental health. And how it all works. So hence this book was birthed, Spiritual Healing to Spiritual Health, and how it all relates to being healed from the mental, the physical, as well as the psychological perspective. So that's how what began my journey. I am one that expresses myself through narrative. I'm a storyteller. You hear it in my messages. I like to tell a story. I don't necessarily like to talk, but I like to communicate. I like to communicate information, and I like to write. I write all the time, and that's been something that I've always done. So coming into my other books, which is the two children's books, they were inspired because me with my passion of writing and also my passion to educate and communicate, I decided to write these books because, of course, my children inspired me, and I wanted to convey to other fathers in particular how to develop a relationship with their children. So hence, because I was inspired by my relationship with my kids, I wanted to inspire others. So I just bridged a lot of passions together: my passion for writing, my passion for communication, and my passion for being a dad. And hence came the book Look at Me Daddy, which is for my daughter, and then I See You Daddy, which is for my son. Okay. So that's kind of the journey that I took.
Well, I appreciate hearing that, and that's very inspirational to us, because I know personally, growing up watching sitcoms and everything, my dad was always very present in my life as well,
Right.
and a lot of the things you probably can relate that we saw on TV with the Cosby Show and Family Matters.
Right.
My dad didn't have that big professional job that those individuals had, but those teachable moments that crept into the script every now and then, I really had those. And so it's very important to have role models that you don't have to look
Very much
outside
so.
your home for. So I appreciate you joining us today and being willing to share your books. And we want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to present your first book, and we're going to enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you again. Once again, just briefly, the spiritual healing and spiritual health, that's the journey, but I'm not going to get too much into that because I really want to emphasize that I'm very proud of my book, Look at Me, Daddy. Look at Me, Daddy, again, is a book that was inspired by my daughter. And as a matter of fact, my daughter helped me write the book. We are sitting in bed one day, and she had gotten to the point where she could talk. And with my children, for some reason, my children started talking real early. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But anyways, and so I noticed that my daughter always wanted me to see something that she was doing. Look at me, Daddy. I'm playing this. Look at me, Daddy. I'm doing this. And so while we were laying in bed one day, she was kind of putting together a poem. Look at me, Daddy. I'm riding my bike. And then I would respond, I see you, baby. That's all right. And we kind of put a little rhyme scheme to it. And I thought to myself, I want to communicate to the world that it is very important as a father to affirm your children.
Absolutely.
Affirmation. It is important to affirm your children, and that you don't have to do affirmation speeches like "I am kind, I am great." I don't have anything against that. I think that is wonderful. But I think what is more impactful is to affirm them through daily activities. So my daughter, and in the book, let's just say my daughter, here's one where she was washing her hands. And so one thing says, look at Daddy, I went to the potty and washed my hands too. And so I respond to affirm her, my dear, I knew you could do it. Hooray for you. Because at that particular point, she's trying, she's in potty training, and I'm building her confidence in not just potty training, but accomplishing something that she puts her mind to. So what I am really proud of is that the beginning part of this book is actually a letter to dads. Okay. So the first part is a letter to dads to kind of affirm for them the importance of their role. So the title of that beginning is called Dad, Not Just More Than Just a Title. More than just a title. And it's a letter just talking about the statistics of father-daughter relationships. Then the book goes into the second half where you now have a children's book portion because as an educator, my degree is in education, my bachelor's degree, I believe in literacy. I believe in reading, and I believe in the power of reading to your children. So this is really an opportunity to not only give the fathers the chance to read to their children, but also to give them the chance to bond with their children through reading. So this is really an educational plus an empowerment tool to help our fathers with their father-daughter relationships. Yes. This book goes from the time that the child starts out in Pampers, playing on the pots, to the day that the child graduates or this daughter graduates from college.
Okay.
Because the presence of that father is important throughout the entire journey. And so the father part says, look at me, daddy, college was tough, but I made it through. My dear baby girl, you are smart, you are strong, there's nothing you can't do. Life has a way of taking you to who knows where. Although I can't promise I'll be physically present, I promise to always be there. Every word that daddy said about you, keep in your remembrance. And when you find yourself in a scary place in life, you won't lose your confidence. So it just helps to not only develop literacy, not only capture the attention of the children, but it's also to help that father to build that relationship with his daughter. So this, look at me, daddy, the father-daughter relationship tool.
We thank you for sharing Look at Me, Daddy. And there are several points that you made while you were reviewing the book that are noticeable. And one of which is that our children need for us to be there every step of the way. And yes, they need to hear all of the positive things that are said. They need to be said at home because you know, as long as they're said at home, of course, we know that then they don't look outside of the home. And as fathers, it's important for us to develop a relationship with them so that the first strong positive relationship comes from a parent. And once that happens, you know, we're in good shape. But your second book, we want you to read it for us in its entirety, and we'll be back in just a moment for part two. And so we will log off, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Newhart, welcome back to part two of our interview with local author, Pastor Jarvis F. Wright. We hope that you enjoyed his first book, Look at Me, Daddy. Now we're back.
That's fine. You can stay where you are because he'll edit it. I see you, Daddy.
Does
it Look at Me, Daddy? And then I see you, Daddy. Is the second one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So start back at the top. Good.
Welcome back to part two of our interview with Pastor Jarvis Wright, a local author here. He has written some great books, one of which we just read, Look at Me, Daddy. And now we're back for part two, and he's going to introduce his second book, I See You, Daddy. Pastor Wright.
Yes. So thank you once again for being back. I'm having so much fun already, and I hope that you are enjoying it as well as being empowered by these books. So my second book is really a continuation of the first book. It's kind of a series, and I call it affectionately the affirmation series. And believe it or not, I'm not finished with the series. There are a few more books that I want to add to it. And so we talked about Look at Me, Daddy, and that being the affirmation or the speaking to the father-daughter relationship. Well, the Lord blessed me with a son, which the book talks about how absolutely I was floored because I thought that my son was a daughter. But then I discovered that so the anxiety of being responsible for raising a male child overtook me, because I recognize how important it is, how important men are to society. I believe everybody is leaders, but we all can agree that God called the man to be the leader, to be a leader. And there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about how so go the man, so goes society. And so, I wrote, I wrote, I see you, Daddy, because what I noticed is that with my daughter, she was always saying, "Look at me, Daddy." She wanted me to see her. But with my son at an early age, I was recognizing that he was always just looking at me.
Yes.
So then I realized that more so than for me to affirm my son, which I do need to affirm my son,
Yes.
I need to be a role model for my son.
Yes.
Because my daughter wants me to see her, but my son needs to see me.
Yes.
So again, it is set up where there is a letter to dad, dad more than just the title, and it talks about how important dads are to the life of a son, and how oftentimes the father-son relationship is very, very messy because of the fact
Yes.
that we're both men.
Yes.
So we lock horns and things. So that's the first part. And then again, it goes into a part where you can read to your children. So I want to read that really quickly. Read the children's portion of
Yes.
this book in an effort to encourage fathers to take advantage of this and then read to your children. Before I read, I want to say something about the illustrations in this book in particular.
Yes.
So I had the opportunity to go to South Africa a few times. In South Africa, I met some amazing people, some wonderful people. One of the people whom I met was an artist. This guy can draw like I've never seen before. So what I was able to do is partner with him, and he originally drew. He drew all of the artwork that is in this book. So I am proud of the fact that the artwork is not just original, but it is from one of my South African brothers. He drew this from his company. What I also want you to see is that relationship is important in all cultures. So when
Absolutely.
you see this book, you're going to see a Chinese father-son relationship. You're going to see an African-American father-son relationship. You're even going to see a mixed father-son relationship, because father-son relationships are important throughout all cultures. So here we are. Let me read, starting from the beginning. It says, "I see you, Daddy, when you shave and cut your hair. It is not all about how you look, my boy," the father responds, "but presentation shows confidence, and that can get you anywhere. I see you, Daddy, when you're going to work every day." The father responds, "Men provide for their homes, my boy. As soon as I get back home, we will go to the park and play. I see you, Daddy, every time you put on your tie. My son, let me show you. Then you give it a try. I see you, Daddy, when you wipe away my sister's tears. My boy, a part of being a man is calming your family's fears. I see you, Daddy, when you apologize to that man. My son, only a weak person will not admit when they're wrong. A truly strong man can. I see you, Daddy, when you're dancing with Mom. I am so glad you noticed, my boy, so that you too will make the love of your life a priority. I see you, Daddy, when you're taking out the garbage and fixing the car. As men, we have responsibilities, my son, and being responsible will take you very far. I see you, Daddy, always helping people in need. You must always be able to be compassionate and generous, towards others, my boy. These are qualities of a man indeed. And last page, I saw you, Daddy, how you took care of our family and home. I am so glad I did, because now I have one of my own. You may not know it, but watching you has helped me in so many ways. It helped to navigate me through life's most difficult days. The father responds, my dear baby boy, you are smart and you are strong. You have always made me proud. I promise to be there for you just as I was when you were a child. Remember to follow the example you have seen and the lessons that you have learned. Then, when life tries to knock you down, you will stand strong and firm. And again, this book goes from the time that the child is a baby to the time that the son gets his son of his own. And this is the book, I See You, Daddy.
We're so glad that you shared that with us. A lot of inspiration here. How can we come across these books? We need to get these books out. We have many people who tune in every week, and there are some people that need to hear this. They need to read this because this is very important, especially in our society.
Yes.
So,
yes.
can you tell us how we can connect with you on social media and where we can purchase these books?
Yes, very much so. The majority of my book sales I take care of on my own. And you can simply inbox me on Facebook at Jarvis F. Wright Sr. Jarvis F. Wright Sr. You can inbox me. Also, you can email me at jwrightsenior89@gmail.com. These books are also available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, Exlibris.com. They are available those ways as well. However, if you want an autographed copy, and with Look at Me, Daddy, Jayla also autographs the book. She helped me co-write it, my daughter. And if you want to autograph, inbox me at those outlets, Jarvis F. Wright Sr. on Facebook or jwrightsenior89@gmail.com, and we will mail it out to you. We will mail it out anywhere in the world.
Okay. Well, we thank you for joining us today for our interview. Very inspirational, and I will admit to you, the viewing public, that if you want to know what to do to be a successful father, read these books. And once you do that, you have no excuse to not do what you need to do for your children, because these two books let us know two things. They're either wanting us to watch them or they're watching us. And either way you look at it, we have a role to play. Pastor Wright, we want to thank you for taking out time. And hopefully one day soon, we will be able to get you to come and read that book in person because it's very influential. And we just want you to keep writing, and we want to encourage you to continue to let your thoughts flow and do all that God has called for you to do. And we thank you, and we bid you Godspeed. Thank you for listening today, Drew Hart, and we will see you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.